Most investors move like dinosaurs, slow, rigid, overanalyzing every deal like it's a thesis paper. But what if you approach multifamily like a software team ships code? Quick sprints, feedback loops, continuous improvement. Agile isn't just for tech, it's for building wealth fast, focused, and smart. This is the agile way to multifamily investing, and it's how I flipped small apartments into $1 million machine. Now let's break it down. Let's dig into what I mean when I say agile investing, because this right here, this is where everything shifts. Most people hear the word agile and they immediately think that it means move fast. But if you've ever led a software team like I have, you know it's way more than that. Agile is a mindset, it's a process, it's a commitment to progress through iterations. In the software world, we break things down into sprints, small windows of focused effort. We don't spend a year building something in silence, then hope it works. We build, we test, we adapt fast. Now, here's the question I want to ask you. What if you approached real estate the same way? Most investors do the opposite. They wait for everything to be perfect. Perfect market timing, perfect loan, perfect deal, and they spend 6 months analyzing and 0 months executing. That's not investing, but agile investors, we sprint. We don't wait for confidence, we build it. We take a deal from just listed to offer sent in hours. Then we use every interaction, every offer, every broker call as feedback. Each deal is a test, each mistake is a lesson, each result is a launch pad. Now let me give you the structure that changed everything for me. It's called the B.O.U.N.C.E method, and it's built like Agile. Short, focused sprints with one mission per stage. B.O.U.N.C E stands for buy, operate, upgrade, normalize, cash flow, and exit. Now let me say it one more time. Buy, operate, upgrade, normalize, cash flow, and then we exit. Each part of the B.O.U.N.C E is a sprint. Each sprint has a feedback loop. And every time you run through a B.O.U.N.C E, you get better, smarter, faster, more profitable. That's what agile investing will give you. A bias towards action, a system for improvement, a flywheel that compounds over time. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, overthinking your next move, maybe it's time to stop chasing perfect and start chasing progress. Let's talk about the real game changer in this whole thing, mindset. Because look, most people don't fail in real estate because they're lazy. They fail because they're waiting for the perfect deal, waiting for more education, waiting for fear to go away. But you and I both know the truth. If you wait for perfect, you'll wait forever. That's the old mindset. Let me learn everything before I do anything. But agile investors flip that. Agile investors say, let me do something so I can learn everything faster. There's this myth that investing is all about spreadsheets. Nah. It's all about how fast you can build clarity in chaos. Now let me get real with you. On my first duplex, I got smoked. I overpaid, didn't underwrite right, had no system. And then, month 3, a flood took out the bottom unit. 10 grand in damage. By the time I exited, I had lost over $20,000. Now, most people would have folded, and I almost did. But I realized something critical. That deal wasn't a failure. It was my first sprint review. And I asked, what worked? What failed? What would I never do again? And then I built B.O.U.N.C E out of those lessons, real reps, real scars, real clarity. Because the truth is this, you don't need more books. You don't need another guru. You need more sprints, more feedback, more movement. The difference between the people who dream of multifamily and those who build million-dollar portfolios, it's not knowledge, it's not luck, it's iteration. You don't get confidence by waiting. You get confidence by doing the hard things scared, then realizing you're still standing. That's how I flipped my mindset from perfection to progress, from fear to feedback, from doubter to builder. And you can too. Now that we've shifted the mindset, let's talk about the actual tools and tactics, because Agile isn't just about speed. It's about structure. You don't just run around making offers. You move through purposeful sprints that build results. That's where the B.O.U.N.C.E method becomes a machine. Each letter in the B.O.U.N.C.E isn't just a phase. It's a sprint, a short focus pushed with clear outcomes. So let's walk through it. Sprint 1, buy smart. This is where most investors freeze up. They get lost in spreadsheets, 90-tab workbooks, and the endless what-ifs. But the Agile approach, we simplify and we strike. Underwrite to actuals, not pro forma dreams. Use 10-minute go, no-go filter. If it fits your buying box, move. Stop trying to hit a home run. Just get on base. Make the offer. Because every LOI you send teaches you something about the deal, the broker, the area, or even yourself. You don't get clarity from hesitation. You get it from contact. Number 2, operate lean. The moment you close, you start sprint number 2. Stabilization. This ain't about crossing your fingers. It's about building a plan before you get the keys. What's your day 1 takeover checklist? How do you onboard tenants to your new system? What KPIs are you tracking every week? I treat my property operations like a tech deployment. Clear roadmap, weekly check-ins, fast feedback. If a tenant has a complaint, I want to know within 24 hours. Why? Because that's a data point. And data lets me iterate. Sprint 3, upgrade like a tech stack. This one is where people burn cash. They think value add means a full gut renovation. They're wrong. Agile renovation means highest ROI first, quick cosmetic wins, and tenant-facing improvements that raise perceived value. Things like a developer updating an app. You fix the bugs that break trust, then upgrade the features that people use the most. Kitchen, lighting, paint. Done right, fast, and on budget. Don't rehab for your ego. Rehab for your NOI. Sprint 4. Normalize numbers. This is the stage where amateurs stall out. They fix things up, tenants are mostly happy, but they never build systems, so it's chaos every month. Agile investors normalize. You clean up the P&Ls, get the rent roll tight, lock down your expenses. You don't run on gut, you run on dashboards, because your exit or refinance isn't based on potential. It's based on proof. When a bank or buyer looks at your deal, they're not asking if you did a great job. They're asking, is this asset now stable and scalable? That's what this sprint delivers. So whether you're buying, operating, upgrade, or normalizing, every one of those is a sprint with a goal. Every sprint moves you closer to one thing: cash flow with control. Not just money, but measurable momentum. This is how you stop treating your properties like projects and start running them like products. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about: cash flow. But we're going deeper than that, because I want to introduce you to a word that changes the game: velocity. Cash flow is great, but velocity, that's how you grow. That's how you scale. That's how you win faster. See, in the Agile world, speed isn't just motion. It's about learning and optimizing quickly. It's about creating feedback cycles that compress time and compound results. Here's the reality. Most investors are stuck in this old formula: buy and pray. Buy the building, pray the rents go up, pray the expenses go down. That's not a plan. That's hope dressed up like strategy. But Agile investors, we engineer velocity. We build sprints that create momentum. Buy fast, stabilize quicker, improve systems, normalize cash flow, roll into the next deal, and on and on. Every deal becomes a flywheel. It gains speed as you reduce friction. And the better your systems, the faster your money moves. Let me break it down into real terms. Let's say you buy a property and you increase the NOI by $60,000. And when you divide that increased volume by a 6 cap, you have just created a $1 million change in value. Now here's the magic part. If your systems are agile, you can do this in 18 months, sometimes faster. That's velocity, not just waiting for appreciation, engineering it. Cash flow is the byproduct of well-executed sprints. It's the scoreboard. But velocity, that's your competitive advantage. So don't just ask, how much does this property make me per month? Ask, how fast can I recycle this capital into my next win? That's how I went from bleeding money in my first duplex to flipping small multifamily into $1 million machine. Not because I was lucky, but because I built momentum. Agile investors don't just count cash. We calculate speed. And speed, executed with discipline, becomes unstoppable. Now let's talk about something that separates amateurs from builders with staying power. It's not just strategy. It's not just cash flow. It's how you manage your feedback loops. In Agile, after every sprint, we stop and reflect. We ask 3 questions. What worked? What didn't? And what are we going to do better next time? I brought the same practice into every deal, every flip, every acquisition, every single team meeting. See, most investors just want to win, but Agile investors want to understand. Because the truth is, you don't learn from results. You learn from the reflection. Let me give you an example. I had a deal that looked great on paper, strong upside, value add potential, decent seller carry. But once we took over, we found unpermitted work, poor tenant records, and missing expense trails. That deal could have crushed me. Instead, we treated it like a sprint retroactive meeting. We mapped out what we missed in due diligence, we tightened our process, and you know what happened? Next time, we caught those red flags before they cost us. That's the power of feedback loops. They create resilience, they create precision, and over time, they create trust. Let's talk about trust. When you're raising capital, you're bringing in investors. They're not just betting on your deals, they are betting on your process. They want to see that you're not guessing. They want to know that you are learning constantly. When I show my investors how we improved from deal 1 to 5, how we tightened systems, cut costs, improved communications, they don't just see numbers. They see a leader with a framework. And frameworks build confidence. Confidence builds trust, and trust, that's what fuels scale. So remember, wins are great, but retrospectives, that's where real growth happens. Don't just build properties, build your playbook. So what's the end game? It's not one good flip. It's not even 1,000 units. It's building something repeatable, something scalable. It's building a machine. Most people treat multifamily like a one-time event. They buy a property, hope it goes well. But remember, the Agile investors, we build a system that works again and again and again. Every deal becomes another sprint. Every sprint sharpens the process, and every process creates momentum. You don't need to be flashy. You don't need 10,000 doors. You just need a system that prints confidence, cash flow, and clarity. Let me give you a number, $60,000. That's the amount that we needed to change our NOI. We divided that by a 6 cap and we created over $1 million in value. Not over 10 years, not someday, in under 24 months. Because we didn't treat that property like a gamble. We treated it like a product. We ran it like a business, and that's the shift. You're not just flipping real estate, you're flipping performance. You're flipping time. You're flipping identity. Every deal you touch becomes an iteration of you. Your leadership, your vision, your discipline. And when you build with the agile thinking, that identity, it scales. So now you've seen it. You've seen what it looks like to move fast, to learn fast, to scale smarter. This isn't just some productivity hack. This isn't a flip this house game. This is a new operating system for wealth, because the old playbook, it's dead. Wait for the market, play it safe, let time bail you out. It's not a strategy, that's fear dressed up as wisdom. But you're building something different. Not just investing in properties, You are investing in a system, in a flywheel, in a version of you that gets better every deal. That's what Agile gives. Discipline, velocity, feedback, freedom, and all of the above, momentum. Look, you don't need another year of waitings. You need 90 days of sprints. You don't need every answer. You just need the next action. And you've got it right now, right here, today. So what do you say? Let's build a machine. Let's make it agile. Let's make it unstoppable.